Alright. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We've got ourselves Basiligs Gaming's Me Speak Good professional caster, Reynor, in the top right side of the map. And he's playing a best of 3 here against HARSTEM in the bottom left. It is the quarterfinals, I believe. I don't think we're quite up to the semis of the ESL EU Cup number 220. And that's a gas first, no scout for HARSTEM. Good way to start the series against Reynor, because Reynor has not been doing many 12 pulls lately, and that's really the only thing that's going to punish you in this scenario. Reynor, of course, has gone for a hatch gas pull because he knows HARSTEM doesn't really block the hatchery that much, so he doesn't have to go 15-15, and this way he can both mine a lot of gas and then pull down, optimize those minerals, get 2 queens, Zerglings, Overlord building, and we should probably see 2 more Zerglings. I wonder if he tries to get away with just 2. On this map, even if you get blocked, say, from taking this third, you can always go take the other third. Whereas on a map like Oceanborn, if you only build 2 Zerglings, getting blocked really hurts your build order. Drones rallying over to the natural. We got 2 queens, a few Zerglings, and Ling Speed on the way. Okay, so this is going to be very standard for HARSTEM so far, but for me, I've got to think about the last few times HARSTEM beat Reynor. What did he do? Well, survived. Let's be honest. There was a period there where HARSTEM beat Reynor multiple times a few months ago, kind of before Katowice, I guess start of the year, maybe end of last year. And the real pattern in those games is that Reynor had no late game. He literally just never made hive tech. He basically tried to just shove banelings in repeatedly, and all you needed to do was wall off and defend with good storms. Because at a certain point, Reynor would gas out in those games, and even though his multi-prong was really good, and his Ravager micro was insane, he was kind of just going macro Ravager Bane every game, and that, as a predictable style, with no scary timings for the Protoss, is definitely a subpar way to play the matchup. I will just absolutely stand by that statement. I'll be like, this is just not the best way to play. Because if a Protoss is not worried about what you're throwing their way, they can be a mixture of very greedy, tech up, and then start to dominate from 4 base onwards, which is when Protoss really hits their stride, because a lot of those Protoss units, they gain strength in numbers. Oh, he actually got that Overlord. I thought the Overlord would get a bit further, and he'd have to risk kind of coming into Speedling territory, but good snipe there. So, Storm, Colossus, Immortals, Archons, the more of these units you get together, the more upgrades you get for them, the power level spikes very hard. And Zerg really needs to have either Lurkers or Broodlords. Occasionally, Ultras with like Spellcasters can do it. We've seen Reynor do it with Neural Parasite, where he just mind controls the Protoss units and says, your amazing units are mine now. Those are all ways you can kind of counteract that. Oracle's going to drive past. 1 queen, not enough to dissuade them. Great micro from Reynor, though. He only loses 1 drone. This is a very good start for him. And look at that. He even targets the low hit point Oracle. Gets 1 more hit on it on the way out. Now, this is only a double Oracle opening for HARSTEM, and he's chrono boosting Glaives. So this is 4-gate Glaives. It's an incredibly late Glaives. If you're going to do Glaives this late, I always feel like the best way to do it is to actually go for like an 8-gate all-in. Then again, I mean, that's the highest chance of doing crazy damage, of course, because it's a bigger commitment. But the way HARSTEM's build works is it's meant to catch Reynor off guard without many roaches. But Reynor, he has the beginnings of a wall off. His roach horn's 3/4 of the way done. The problem he has right now is a lack of map control. If these Adepts and Oracles can control the tower, Reynor might not see this coming until too late. And if he's droning up to 66 drones, 6 gases, then he'll be in trouble. Right now, Reynor has 60 workers, but he hasn't taken his gases. That's going to kill 5 of his drones he'll need to replace. His 4th hatchery is about to come down. The Oracles, unfortunately for HARSTEM, barely miss it. If he saw that coming, that would have been great. And Reynor's realizing, hey, I'm a little bit blind. I've always said Reynor's kind of famous for not scouting that well. Let's see what he sees. Oh, that's a big tell, I think. That 3rd base looks a little bare, and there's no units there. But that's because the Adepts are already here. Oh my gosh. He snuck them around the right side. I didn't realize they were hitting this early, but they are. Pre-6 minutes, already here with 14 Adepts. Looks like the Zealot Warpin does deal with that. It's going to shade into that natural, and this is a big problem for Reynor. The Lings are going to at least absorb hits for a while, force these Adepts to shade back up into the main base. He should go to the left, maybe? Oh, no, he's just going to keep killing Zerglings and whatever's on top of him. The Zerglings do kind of block him, which is very cute. So far, only a couple of drones do go down, but It's the mining time, it's the drones, and it's all of the Zerglings he's killing while going Robo into Zealots behind it. Adept Shade down to the natural. The Queens do get on top of some of them, but if these 4 Adepts can just focus down a lot of those drones, he can do some really good damage. He's still got 2 Oracles on the left as well. So if they fly into, say, a base that doesn't have anything except a Spore defending it, that could be great. Adepts go in the main, but look at that great movement by REYNOR. The Queen blocking the Spore there to save that drone from being targeted. And HARSTEM, of course, is a bit busy. Oracles do come in. REYNOR once again pulls his workers away. At the end of the day, it's 12 workers, 32 Zerglings, and a ton of mining time and chaos. Behind it, charge is not started, and that's why I think he might lose this game. Because I feel like if he doesn't realize charge didn't start, I mean, he's chronoing his upgrade. I think he thinks charge is done. Okay, he realizes. Oh, phew. Heaving a sigh of relief there for HARSTEM. 4th base is on the way, and he's probing it. Going to find a few drones on the 4th of REYNOR. REYNOR is, of course, droning up very hard. He's oversaturated on 3 bases now, which is good for him. And he can move them down to this 4th. 7 more drones and an infestation pit, not to mention +2 range. Problem is, REYNOR is going for defensive Lurker now and Viper, right? We know that because he's going range upgrades. But his Hive is so late, right? So I think Hydroden Hive is a good idea, but I'd like to see a second Evo chamber. And I'd like to see him go up to like 90 drones and start building static. Just get spine crawlers wedged in behind these mineral lines. You guys know the spots in behind the mineral lines in the little pockets so that when the Zealots run in, they kind of derp out trying to get at them. And the second Evo I think will be important as well because I feel this game's going to drag on for a while. So getting a Carapace upgrade in there will really help. And then adding melee upgrades because you want to do obviously Zerglings. And there are situations where you might want to swap Ultras or, of course, Broodlords, both of which rely on those melee upgrades in order to be effective. So, second Evo's on the way, Lurkerden's on the way, he's up it, he's going above 90 drones. This is exactly what we want to see from REYNOR. Really good way to adjust to the game state. Now, HARSTEM's also getting a double forge, he's going Storm, but he's only got 1 Robo. And you guys have heard me talk about this a lot. The Robo is the cheapest production structure, only 150 minerals and 100 gas for Protoss. An Immortal costs almost double that in terms of minerals, 275 minerals and 100 gas. There's pretty much no reason not to have a second Robo, especially at this point. Once you're up on 8 gases, it's about 10 seconds of mining time. So just got to saturate these gases, does HARSTEM. And he's got a Warp Prism coming out, which is great. Overseer for REYNOR is going to scout. Phoenix being built, interesting. I think that's to stop Nidus Worms. This is it's going to kill the Overseer, but it's also preemptively going to be ready to stop Overseers spotting for Nidus Worms, because we know that's a big play everyone's making at the moment. Phoenix is going to come out here, and he does kind of rally it off to the side. Should definitely bring that down to finish this Overseer off. Well, it's not being microed by either player, so I think it might die. 1 more shot would kill it. Barely survives. Phoenix is on the left. He will bring it south now. It's on its way. Sets up in Pervert mode. We've got both Hydra upgrades coming in. Lurker upgrades, at least number 1 is being queued. +2 range finishing, +1 melee on the way, and a 6th base on the left for REYNOR. His creep is fantastic. His lurker count's very low. His army is not very impressive right now. It's a few roaches, a few hydras, and a couple lurkers. Like, if HARSTEM did randomly push in, he might have been able to kill him. But now as the lurker count starts to grow, that's where REYNOR's army gets stronger. But he's morphing lurkers in the middle of the map, and he's even blocking his units a little bit there. But a few more lurkers do come forward. A lot of Ling Roach on the left side because he's expecting Zealot run-bys. He's very well prepared for that. He's even going to send these as a bit of a counter-attack. These are kind of throwaway units. He wants to replace them with more Hydras, more Lurkers, more Vipers. Spires on the way. He knows he's going to need Corruptors and air upgrades at some point, so it's a good way to do it. The Spine Crawlers, they're a little out front, but I think it should just barely be enough. Okay, yeah, he brings reinforcements over as well. And burrowing a Lurker in the base plus Spines makes it much more solid. Zergling Roach comes back here. Hydra Queen will try to click, or at least the Queens will try to click on the Prism. Zealots are going to cleave through those Zerglings so easily. The Roaches, though, will defend. Lurkers manage to move up to this left side, and they will force HARSTEM back. Queens and Hydras poking forward in front. How many Lurkers? 8. There's only 8 Lurkers. He needs to morph more Lurkers. Right now, REYNOR's maxed on a very trash army. He needs more Lurkers. He's making mass Zerglings right now. Not really the unit you want. I think he's in this vulnerable position. I guess it's probably not that scary, though, because I don't really think HARSTEM wants to fight. And I guess he senses that, which is why he's keeping his army so low and just focusing on the economy and the upgrades. He's on the cheap units that are a bit more mobile. These Spines will go down. Zerglings going to come down and try to deal with this. He's got +1 Adrenal Zerglings. Those Zealots get surrounded and shut down. On the left side, Lurkers are moving around the map. That 6th space in the top left is very vulnerable. Great Storm. HARSTEM's got air weapons. Mama is on the way. That's going to allow him to recall Zealot Warping in the main. If you could clear these Spines out, that would be actually fantastic, but Looks like that's going to go down. Oh, man, jumping on top of the army. Reynor says, I bet you're not looking. HARSTEM is looking, and he doesn't lose too much, only like an Archon or two. A few more stasis traps spread around would be great. Stasis traps are really good for punishing a Zerg who tries to just jump on top while defending elsewhere, because lurkers, if they're in front of your army, and once you get adaptive talons, they usually are, which I guess maybe is why he's not making adaptive talons. Let's be real, it's because he forgot. It happens to all of us under pressure. They run in front of your army, and they don't, you know, just kill. Even if you've got detection, they have to burrow to attack. High Templar goes down. Another High Templar goes down. 2 High Templar snipes. Very nicely done. Zealot Warping on the right side causing some trouble, though. It's 2-1 for the Zealots. The Zerglings are still only +1 melee, so they don't do great here. It's the Roaches that clean things up. Oh, he traps 3 Lurkers! Dude, HARSTEM with some clutch micro right now. Lurkers on the left side doing good as well. HARSTEM with his Adepts kind of screwing up Reynor's early transition into the Hive, and now he's actually utilizing his movement really well. Corruptors are finally out to get rid of this War Prism. There's just no Lurkers. There's still only 2 Lurkers on the field. Reynor desperately needs more Lurkers right now. HARSTEM maybe could push in even more decisively. Lurker starting to siege him. Zealot in the natural. We've got this army poking in and out right now, and the Tempests are finally on the field. Zealots do clean up the Lurker temporarily, but the Observer does not stay there. New Observer comes out, though, so that's all right. I like the idea of sending Observers with your counterattack squads at this stage, because much like against a Protoss who has Dark Templar, you know, or where you bring an Observer in PvP with your Zealot Archon counterattacks, you start to do that just to deal with the Lurkers in this matchup as well. Now, there's so much energy on those Oracles. I do think a bit of Stasis Trap spam out here would be really good just to kind of give him some insurance. He's got a lot of cannons and a High Templar. Only 1 cannon down there, though, so Reynor's going to be sneaky, and Reynor is at his best in StarCraft when there is movement. That is his favorite part of StarCraft. It's all about the movement. HARSTEM's mostly maxed out. I think he's fine back here. He'd actually do well to lose these Adepts. Clearing those Adepts up is going to allow him to replace them with better supply. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, Reynor! No Spine Crawlers! No Spine Crawlers to take the aggro! Even though there's Lurkers that the Zealots can't see, 20 drones go down! Tempest getting jumped on right now. Oh man. Oh, this is really bad for Reynor. But wait, HARSTEM, is he going too deep into this Lurker spread? I think he's doing great. Roaches down the bottom, kill 9 probes. There's an Immortal there that is doing very well. The Zealots warp in from behind. They will try to help defend. At the same time, on the front, though, a lot of micro being needed by HARSTEM all at once. Time Warp, though, is going to stave off the Zerg advance. It's pullback time for HARSTEM. He needs more High Templar. He needs more Storms. The Zealots will do very well versus these Roaches as they get the surface area, but if the Roaches can get behind the mineral line, maybe they could do okay back on the front. Like I said, the Hydra Remax is here. There's no Storm. HARSTEM needed to pull back. He stayed a bit too long. Now he's losing his High Templar before they can get energy. And his Oracles, and his Mama. Oh no! HARSTEM, his Zealots do okay in terms of jumping on top of the Hydras, but there's so many rallying forwards. This is like a big giant counter, almost just low-tier A move for Reynor, saying, I think I can catch you with not much stuff right now. There's a High Templar on the right side. If that comes up in behind the gold minerals, it could maybe storm this. HARSTEM's lost track of it, though. There's a lot to pay attention to in this game. And Reynor pushing him back buys himself a moment of breathing room. But only a moment. Remember that left side base, losing those 20 drones. He's only on 70 workers. He has less bank. He has no carapace upgrades in this game, which has actually mattered a lot. And I really feel building so many Zerglings when he didn't have any Ling upgrades from the early game has been a big mistake, because the Zerglings just haven't done anything for him. I would have liked to see him be a little bit more static on a heavier Hydra Lurker count earlier to get the fights that he needed. Now, that being said, where's the Storm? Oh my god, there's another Storm available in a second. One more Storm. Oh, that one only clips them, though. Those Immortals need to stand and fight. They're just getting jumped on by the Hydras. Oh, this is such a good push for Reynor. He's doing so much with this. Gold base gets ransacked. Tempest is going down. Reynor's just overwhelming HARSTEM with multitasking. Like, with the pressure, I should say. Not even really multitasking, more about the pressure. Zealot counterattack comes in. It'll take out a Spine and some Queens, but the Roaches should be just enough to hang on, I believe. Oh, but the Immortals find the Lurkers. The moment they don't have support, the Lurkers are so weak. This left side of Gateway goes down. Immortal Zealots clean that Lurker up as well. Units lost tab right now. Let's check in on that. 6,000 resources in favor of HARSTEM. And that is a big deal. +3 range is done for the Roaches and the Hydras. They're about to have +1 carapace. 3-1's been done for a while for HARSTEM. He's now forgetting about ground upgrades because, of course, the fighting is non-stop. What an insane PvZ this is. That Tempest does get picked off. Nice focus fire, but he loses quite a few Hydras for it. Hydras are not cheap. Bottom right side, 6th base. You need that 6th base. You get that up as HARSTEM, you can drown him in numbers. But right now, it looks like that 6th base is in jeopardy, getting jumped on the front as well. High Templar trying to morph. Immortal and Tempest trying to hang on right now. He just doesn't have many numbers. The Archons are getting jumped on. Tempest, Immortal going to try and fight. A few Archons get focused down. 2 Archons do fall. Zealot counterattack, though, does buy him a moment of time. He's lost his bottom right side base. Not sure if he canceled that. Indeed, he did cancel it. Nice multitasking from HARSTEM. I got to say, I keep expecting to crumble under the pressure of facing REYNOR, one of the fastest Zergs in the world. But HARSTEM's doing a very good job of making this a close game. Zealots start to shift-click down those drones very quickly. 2 drones do go down. Zerglings with a lovely surround. Oh me, oh my, I did not expect this series to be so fireworks. Remember, REYNOR lost a bunch of times to HARSTEM. Arguably, he's at a low point in his EVP at that time. HARSTEM was at a strong point in his PvZ. The last month or two has been REYNOR basically grinding this matchup, especially because I know he was struggling in it, and trying to think of ways to play it, and yet HARSTEM is going toe-to-toe with the Italian Stallion, and he is coming out on top. Beautiful play. 6th base goes down. Yes, HARSTEM's probably behind on the income a little bit right now, but his efficiency is off the charts. He's up about 7,000 resources in the units lost. We've got 6 lurkers out only right now for REYNOR. He likes to be on this mobile army, but remember, that comes at the cost of not having the extra lurker insurance. He can't really have lurkers everywhere at once. More lurkers do finish morphing here. He's ready to reactively burrow them, but he needs to get rid of that observer because that's allowing HARSTEM to pick at him. HARSTEM has a new Oracle coming, though. Very good play for HARSTEM to do that. And we want to keep seeing Zealot run-bys and Prism Spin, but look at that, REYNOR. He says, you're not defending right now. I'm going to counterattack. Little does he know, HARSTEM's prepared. He has a pack of units. He doesn't have a warp in point, though. He does not have a warp in point. He should be able to clear the Zerglings without using Storm. At the same time, he's going to push up on that left side. Managing these 2 fights at once is kind of stressful. The Zealots a little bit far back for HARSTEM. His army's getting scattered right now because he's focusing on the front. He does cloak. He pushes through. The Lurker's getting a few hits off as those Overseers finished morphing a little bit late, but he already busted through the Queens. Great moves there for HARSTEM. Storms on the backside would be big. He loses a High Templar. He drops the Storm a little bit late, but he's got the numbers to defend. It might not matter. He's maxed out. REYNOR's out of cash. REYNOR's out of cash right now, and these Tempests are just going to pick at him. Overseer's getting damaged. Lurker's getting taken down. The left side base is completely exposed. Zealots coming in on the right. The Hydras are barely defending the right. The left side is wide open. He's forced to come forwards. The Tempests need to just run. They need to get behind the army before they turn to fight. He does lose a few Tempests. Time Warp goes down. And HARSTEM shows that on 5 base, Protoss is a monstrous force to be reckoned with. Well played by HARSTEM. Great multitasking. Oh, damn. A bit of a rough game 1 there for REYNOR. I mean, he did pretty good with the Hydras, but I think a little bit too slow to grow his lurker count, and I would have loved to see if he gets some like lurker harassment in it, or some form of, you know, a bit more counterattacking with something scary. He did do some lurker counters, but HARSTEM was so good at defending, and it was Alcyon, which is a very good map for kind of turtling up and playing the late game. And man, HARSTEM's mothership usage as well, that was just, it was great. The time warps, the cloaks, the way he has the Tempests there poking and prodding. I love that play. It's already given me memories. I played against a Protoss in like a macro game on Oceanborn, I think 2 weeks ago, and I remember I was destroying, and then they got a mothership and like 5 Tempests out, and I was like, oh my gosh, okay, that's fine, I'll abduct the mothership. And it got he feedbacked my Vipers really well, and he just kept my army tagged and kept doing, and I was like, oh god, I gotta like try to go around because these Tempests outrange my whole army, and they just you know, each time I try to jump on them, he's like storming me. So it's actually a very frustrating style to play against. That being said, REYNOR's defense has been spectacular. So to catch her up in the early game, since I unfortunately didn't show it here, as I had to play an ad break, we did have for the live people, we actually have a 16 hatch opening, but he got blocked, so we had to take the 3rd as his natural. He's now expanding into his natural location, and it's a very standard opening for HARSTEM. He hasn't committed that much, you know, just a few link kills. Probe pulls back. He's got 2 adapts and an Oracle. The Oracle does pull back to defend the 3rd, and I always like this way of doing it. Yeah, you shade back for insurance, and then you run forward. REYNOR stays a bit further forward. Oh, REYNOR. I mean, he does bait the Oracle and turning its laser on, but that's unnecessary. Zerglings going down. Another 4 Lings go down for just a bit of damage on the Adept. And it's not that much Oracle energy that he cares. These guys are synced up. 55 energy, 44 energy. 2 Oracles is kind of the scary number anyway. Spore Crawlers are building in each base. So it's 5 Queens, 6th one on the way, and 3 Spores. 6 Queens and 3 Spores. It's on the heavier end of defense. 7 Queens and 3 Spores I don't like. 8 Queens and 3 Spores I absolutely hate. Because it's just, there's a certain point where you're building so much anti-air, the Oracles don't even need to do damage. Your drone count's already so far behind. But I think because he's delayed these 2nd and 3rd Spores, started building them about 415, It's actually really well timed by REYNOR. And notice he's got constant Overlord production. REYNOR and Dark share a lot of characteristics in how they play and their style, but REYNOR just doesn't get supply blocked, whereas Dark always gets supply blocked. The problem I see lately is that REYNOR, I would argue, has become far too European in this matchup. I think REYNOR is at his best when he's throwing curveballs at Protoss and killing them with timing attacks a little bit more, and they're playing a bit more scared. But I think it feels almost like his macro game is less scary right now, partially because the Protoss aren't respecting the fact that Zerg can kill them. And this is, in general, what I feel when I look at basically the meta of PvZ outside of watching Rogue and Dark play, let's be honest. Rogue's in the military right now, but Dark's the one Zerg who really still does this at the absolute tip-top level, where he has so many different weird, cheesy builds that he hides what he's doing and masks it very well. But the European ZVP is much more about who can have the more efficient opening. And that's what we saw in that last game, who can be more efficient into the mid-game. So every drone matters. Right now, we've got a 7-worker advantage for REYNOR. That's really good. His 4th base is going to be finishing about 620. That's a well-timed 4th base. HARSTEM, though, 4-gate blink pressure coming in. He's delayed his Forge and his Templar Archives to try and put some pressure on. He wants to cancel that 4th. And you know what? I think he can do it if he goes forward here. Only 2 Oracles. HARSTEM is not a fan of the 3rd Oracle. He's got lasers ready. There are 6 Queens, 4 of them coming forward. You do not want to lose this 4th base as REYNOR. He's already trying to rebuild a new one on the south, realizing there's a good chance this goes down. He has to cancel it. HARSTEM, is he going to recall or does he hang? He's going to hang. 5th base going down. And see, this is great because now he's oversaturated. They still get a bit of mining on these bases, but not as much as he would like. And he's not able to drone effectively. He is droning anyway as REYNOR, but it's not as effective. He now has to rebuild the 4th. Like, he can rally down here, but it's going to be another 40 seconds till they can actually mine efficiently. So this already gimps REYNOR's opening a little bit, and it gives HARSTEM a bit of comfort to say, cool, you can't be that greedy. I just got to be a bit safe now. Let's get Storm, take that 4th base, probe it up a little bit, catch up on the upgrades, because I did commit a lot to the fast blink and the 4 gates to do this. Let's go up to 8 gateways. Let's make it 10 gates. He's got a full wall off here. Just remember that pylon can get blown up by 5 banelings, and then they're in the mineral line. Same with that one. Also, if units come from this side, there's no escape, right? He has to defend this access point, or his probes can't run. They get trapped in this northern side of the mineral line. Oracle's going in for a run by on that new 5th base, which is always a great idea because that's where the Queens have to be in position because they won't be a spore crawler as the base just finished. And a lot of the time you catch long distance mining drones there. REYNOR, he's on 78 workers. He's building 7 more. He's going infestation, but he's going to late game. Ravager Bane into late game. Carapace. That's the mark. What is that the mark of, guys? It's the mark of the Ultralisk. REYNOR has won a lot of games with Ultras. This map's great for it. Lots of big wide open spaces. Lots of areas for your Ultras to do fantastic. Now, what I'd like to see with him is probably dual Spellcaster. So I'd like to see him squeeze just 1 or 2 Infestors out to try and catch the Stalkers where possible, or just kind of lock the army in place when the Ultras are out, and 1 Viper, or maybe if you go 2 Infestors, 2 Vipers, you can. You're very Spellcaster committed at that point. But if you land Fungal and Blinding Cloud on the army, you will wreck it. Now, do you need that? Do you need either of those? No. There's only 1 Robo, and there's no Robo units. Not even an Observer yet. No Immortals, which are what counters the Ultralisk. So if it's just Stalkers and Archons, basically, someone was asking me in my Twitch chat the other day, they were like, why would you build Ultras instead of Lurkers? Why would you do that? Aren't Lurkers the best? And I said, look, Lurkers are a bit more generically good against pretty much everything on the ground, as are Broodlords. But they're also more expensive and less mobile. Ultras are amazing against everything on the ground except Immortals. They're pretty good against everything else. Like, don't get me wrong, Archons take a while to die, but they wreck Stalkers, they do great verse Zealots, they do splash damage, they've got great armor against the small gateway units, they ignore Psystorms. So I say that, I mean, effectively, because they've got 500 hit points. They still take the 20 damage a second, 80 damage over 4 seconds from a Storm. It just doesn't phase them because they're so meaty. I mean, to put that in perspective, it would take... Ooh, how was that? Like 6? I think it would take like 6 full Storms, and an Ultra would still have like 30 life at the end of it due to their regeneration going at the same time. It's not effective. Ooh, good cleanups on these counterattacks. Where's that Ultra Cavern, guys? Hive's been done for a little bit. There we go. I say a little bit, like a few seconds, not a long time. I'm actually not exaggerating in that case. Oh, you do not want to get caught on creep. You also don't want to chase into Psy Storms. Reynor can't fight unless he has a proper sandwich. Oh, Archons. When you see double Archon plus cannon battery spread, Lingbane does not do well against that. Because Archons do splash damage and they don't take bonus from Banelings. They are super meaty. 350 hit points of shields. And all of that gets healed up and regened. So if you don't kill them, you just damage them. It's a very bad fight for Zerg. 3-2s on the way, Adrenal Glands and Ultra Cavern. Reynor has a big Ravager Bane army. HARSTEM would like to bait him into a fight right now, but if he doesn't, honestly, he needs a second and a third Robo. Oh, he's committing. HARSTEM's going. So HARSTEM's going to attack the top side with Archon's Zealot, and he's going to push the south at the same time. He has to go now. His second Robo is way too late. He honestly needs to go triple Robo if he takes any longer. Oh, he catches Reynor not looking. Reynor caught, not looking for a moment. Stasis traps. Really nice stasis traps on the high ground to fall back on. If he can get on this base, this will be huge. No Vipers, no Infestors. Oh, the Baneling's taking big storms. Oh, he gets High Templar. Only one High Templar left. Oh, wait, there's 2 full high energy High Templar. He only got 1. Two High Templar died, but there's still 3 High Templar with tons of energy. Zealot, Archon in the north. Lingbane, Ravager's going to deal with it. The Archons will get surrounded and dealt with by those Spines and Lings and Banes. More storms coming in. Very nice Psy Storms. Another great Psy Storm, man. The stasis traps as well, blocking the Zerg army. The Archons, like I said, will get taken down, as will these Zealots. I think he should just focus on the south side now, should HARSTEM. He's got +2 attack against 2-1. The first 5 Ultras are building. He's got to push in hard right now, or he's got to go home. Because once those Ultras and Chitinous are out, things are going to turn south for him very quickly. I think Reynor might just swamp this army. If it's a lot of Zerglings against the Archons, which isn't good for him. Especially with Psy Storms still in reserve. There's 1 Psy Storm, 2 Storms up, and a bunch more High Templar gathering energy. Okay, the Ultras show themselves. I think HARSTEM knows it's time to get out of here. It is definitely time to get out of here. Oh, God. Okay, the Stasis Trap does kind of block them a little bit. He's going to try and pull behind the Mineral Line. Oh, if he saves the Immortal. He saves the Immortal. Oh, huge fight. Huge fight. Okay, HARSTEM breaking the first Ultras. Chitinous plating is finished, but so is Plasma Shields. Dude, this is a good position. HARSTEM is trading so well. He's a couple thousand resources lost ahead. The Immortal does get caught out front, though. Ling's coming in from behind. Another Immortal gets surrounded in the back line. And he's got to get out. He stayed a bit too long now. It was a good position, but he's not able to reinforce here with the units that he needs, the Immortals and the like. High Templar, so many of those go down. Only a few Stalkers getting out, and I don't know if he can defend. Remember what I said? He probably needed that third Robo earlier, but the Ultras are such a good time against this. Your army's so good against what Reynor has, and then the Ultras come out, and suddenly that situation reverses itself. Lingroach running up the middle. Cannons in the north are easily going to defend this base. Man, is he actually going to defend this southern base? He might be able to. Oh, the Immortal runs out into the open. That is unfortunate. There's a lot of cannons up there, though. I feel like with Warpins and Battery Overcharge, he might actually be okay here. Dude, southern base, 2 Ultras come back in. They're going to take that out. Banelings roll in. 6 probes do go down. Archon's coming up. The cannons tickling those Ultras, not really killing them. The southern base does fall, though, and that's a big catch. Putting HARSTEM back to 4 base while you're on 5 is pretty good. Oh, this is a bad fight for Reynor, though. Reynor needs to back off now. If HARSTEM micros this really well with the Prism, oh, which he does. He's got 5 Immortals in there. Oh, he does lose another Immortal. He's a little slow on the pickups, but he does save them. And it looks like those Ultras get blasted, but I think Stutter Step maybe was more important than the Immortal pickups. You know what? Good enough for Reynor. He kills them all, and at the same time, there was an Ultra cleaning up the whole Mineral Line. I thought that might be an overcommitment, but he actually just had such a good reinforce. Reynor overwhelms. HARSTEM was doing really well, but we saw that Ultralist tech switch coming. HARSTEM didn't know about it. After defending the first 2 Ultras, if he clumped up and recalled, I think that would have been a great position for HARSTEM, but he stayed too long. All right, guys. Well, it looks like he's gone and blocked him again. Reynor did not expect HARSTEM to do this. I think Reynor was expecting HARSTEM to go for the gas first again. He said, let's just go for the greedy 16 hatchery. Having to take your third is kind of annoying. HARSTEM with a beautiful wall off, by the way. Third building there. If you get all in, you can wall off with big, thick buildings to secure your wall off from Ling Flood. You know, Ling Flood might actually be good again, guys. And the reason I say this is just because I haven't seen one in a while. And there's a general rule in StarCraft, which is if an all-in is really popular for a while, and then it fades away because the other race gets really good against it, usually balance changes don't change that all-in. There are exceptions where, okay, it's bad because the balance changed, you know, oh, Zealots lost their charge damage or something. But if that doesn't happen, 6 months to a year or year and a half down the track, if no one's doing that all-in, it's probably going to be a free win for the next person who does it in a tournament at the right time. If they remember what the right time is, they see like, okay, on this map, I'm going to look for the opportunity to do that. Yep, I see them sending their adepts out. Yeah, I'm going to go for it kind of thing. You know, it might be good. I think the problem right now is that so many people are chronoing 2 adepts across the map. It's so hard to hide. They're also scouting so well with their probe hanging out for a long time, where I think the probe does hang out long enough to see if you're saving lava for Zerglings. That's probably the big change, actually. Back when it was popular, Protoss would like scout the hatchery and sometimes go home, whereas now they keep mineral harassing right until the Zerglings are out. And that allows you to see, because otherwise the best Zergling all-ins, they would stack lava. And the moment the pool finished, they'd build like 8 or 10 Zerglings. And then you'd be like, oh my god, this is hard to stop, because your adepts would arrive at the other side and then 10 Zerglings would run into your base right now, depower your gateway, and you'd already be in so much trouble even before Ling speed is finished. And then as the Ling flood comes, you're still trying to chase these Lings around your base and defend your wall off at the same time, which is basically impossible. Adepts pull back. Looks like he'd like to go for that 3rd base. Pylon before 3rd Nexus. I've seen Max Packs change that sometimes and go for the Nexus first, but I prefer to do it this way. This Zealot's still not out. Those Lings could have run into the base. It's a bit greedy for HARSTEM, but he does leave a probe in the wall. Oracle flies into the base, gets himself 1 drone. Dude, Reynor's anti-air defense is on point. And I gotta say, so Reynor looks at his best right now when he just shuts down the Oracle Adept with really good Queen mineral focus, gets an insane work account at the same time, and explodes from there. Notice when I've been casting recent ZVPs, I often talk about how much lava there is idle, because a lot of people are building plenty of Queens and Spores, and they're not taking much direct damage, but their lava count is so high because they're spending all their minerals on anti-air defense. But look at this, Reynor is shutting that down. Can the Oracle come in from the other side? Answer's no. Look at this, yeah, complete shutdown. So he's both taking no damage, but look at his lava count. And he's already ahead in the workers, and he's continuing to build on that advantage. So that's something I think everyone can study Reynor's opening, because remember, Reynor was the best against Terran for a long time in the early game, doing a very mineral focused Queen Zergling opening, which is what modern PvZ is, and he's really good at splitting his Queens up, using his Overlord vision, and being in the right place at the right time. Now he's going to go Rotron and Evo Chamber here, which tells me that he probably wants to be playing I mean, not necessarily +1 range. He might still play melee. Now, HARSTEM's only gone 3 gas, which is... Oh, okay, now we see why. 3 gas because he's going charge. So it's 4 gateway charge. He's got a few adepts poking forward. Zergling runs in. Do we see any tells of what's happening? Stalker at the 3rd. That's a... Look, I'm totally building Stalkers this game. Totally. Believe me. Oracle Revelations to clear the creep. He could rotate north and get that creep as well. Just chilling for now. 7 more drones building. 17 Zerglings and 7 Queens is enough defense. Where are these Queens, guys? Okay, they're still chilling in the mineral line until these spores come up. These are very late spores, but he's just building them now to make sure he can leave the mineral line without being worried about getting caught out of position. Extra Queens on the way. +1 range does start. Yeah. I think he's just going to play defensive Lurker. The only thing we'd like to see, like I said, more Hydras, more Lurkers, potentially getting an early Viper out as well. It's not the most important, but definitely want to see a heavier Lurker investment. My god, that's a lot of Zealots. 11 Zealots coming across. They're going to be hitting at 6 minutes. There's Roaches building, but he needs to limit surface area. If he can Evo wall his natural, wedge these guys in the mineral line, that'd be great. He's trying to Evo block in front of these Queens. As long as they're in the mineral line, I think he's all right. And get back to the mineral line. Get back to the mineral line. The Queens are kind of out in the open. If he can get in the mineral line, then he should be able to hold. Queens limiting the surface area. I like that the Lings are kind of luring these units around the left side, trying to find a favorable fight. Queens are starting to fall, but the Roaches are coming out. The Roaches and Queens in that tight packed area do very well. If the Zealots went straight for the 4th, I think that would have been the better move. Hindsight's 2020 though, isn't it? There's a Spire on the way. He listened, guys. I was telling Reynor the other day in our coaching session about how Mutalisks are king. And if you never, you got to go Mutalisks to beat Protoss. He listened to me, totally. I'm going to absolutely ask him after this game and be like, hey, how about those mutas? Hey, he's going to be like, I already killed a ton of Zealots. And I'll be like, yeah, but you lost your 4th. Anyways, Hatchery goes down there. Who's actually ahead? Is that worth it for HARSTEM? Not really. It's not like it's terrible because he does build an economy advantage. But the problem is right now he's blind and he doesn't know about the Spire in the back. So yeah, this is pretty bad for him. Losing both of his Oracles is actually so bad. He's building a new one, but look, the Roachling is going to kind of faint across the map, go, oh, look at us. I'm trying to kill you. And then the Mutalisks will be such a big surprise. Doesn't have a lot of gas, so only 6 mutas to start, but I think that's still fine. I think that's still very effective. His work account's very low, though, so Reynor needs to drone that 4th now that it's almost finished, and he is doing that. I wouldn't mind him going melee up next. I think he's going to go Roach Hydra Lurker after this, though. And I don't think that's a bad transition. I think if he stops here at like 8 meters, goes +2 range, takes the gases on the 4th, it's just, you know, Roach Ravager for now to keep you safe into Hydra Lurker. It's a good way to play the game. Zealot on the south does not see the mutas. This is a fake push for HARSTEM. He's got a fake Colossus there. Cute little hallucination. Mutas going down that left side. He's trying to build a battery in the base. He's trying to build Phoenix. HARSTEM's realizing something's up right now. Why aren't there any Ravagers or Banelings? Oh god, oh god, oh god. And that is a bad feeling for a player who does not have Blink, guys. The Mutalisk's already taking out a Stalker. 4 probes, make it 5. Phoenix and Archon do get here, though. 6 probes, 7 probes. Good micro by Reynor. Every probe matters right now. Remember, he's only at 75. He wants to keep that economy low. He's actually going for a Roach Max. Oh my god, Roach Ravager Zergling Max. He's going to go for it, which is, I think, a good way to trade. I'd like to see him transition behind it, like I said, into gases on the 4th and the tech. But he's got such a big numbers advantage. If he can spread these units out with the mutas and then just collapse on some isolated clumps, that could be big. Prism sees the Roaches coming. Immortal in the open sees the Roachling coming. Oh me, oh my. Phoenix in the top getting caught by the Mutalisks. One of them goes down. The Immortal did die in the mid-map. The Archon Immortal over there struggling, and Archon gets taken out. Roaches on the left as well. Oh, this is huge. He's going after the Immortals. Another Immortal goes down. If you can take the Immortals out quickly, that's where most of the damage output of the Protoss army lies. That is huge. Mutas going to the main base at the same time. Shield Battery's going to keep those probes alive for a few seconds. But the Roach Ravager Max is all you need. HARSTEM's up on 77 probes on 4 bases, 8 gases. But he doesn't have concentration of firepower to deal with the Roach Ravager because he's built cannons and batteries everywhere. He's been building Phoenix. He took some probe losses. Everything was focused on just defending the mutas. And that's when a very basic, even though it's delayed, Roach Ravager max out at 9 minutes becomes very powerful again. Battery is in range. That Immortal Zealot will clean up on that left side. HARSTEM's doing a great job of surviving. He still looks very dead, but he's doing a good job of dragging this out as long as he possibly can. And seeing if he can make something of it. 16 probes have gone down now. He just can't get enough firepower out. And that constant rally from Reynor looking really powerful. It's been a good series. This has been a very good series. I like that Reynor mixed it up here as well. After defending those Zealots, I do think if HARSTEM immediately focused the 4th, he could have obviously done better. But hats off to Reynor for simply pulling his queens to the mineral line so quickly. He reacted very fast. Oracle gets taken out by Bile. Zealots are trying to charge forward. The 2 Phoenix will pick up a single Ravager and chip at it. But there are not enough numbers. The Immortal's trying to stutter step back. Battery overcharges here. The Archon gets Bile. Battery overcharge is not enough. And HARSTEM has to tap out. Great play by Reynor there. Some good adjustments. And an amazing game 1 from HARSTEM on Alcyon with that mothership usage. But at the end of the day, Reynor will progress to the next round. GG, well played.